Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcome in the studio. First timer to the program. He came highly recommended, and he is here. We are here to talk about his book and his site, his business, Melanoid Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, Thaddeus Tolbert is in the building. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. Melanoid Exchange. When I heard the title, I was like, yo, this sounds lit. Very interesting. What is Melanoid Exchange?
So Melanoid Exchange is founded, is ran by one of my good friends from Prairie View, Javante Ham. So he basically allows us, it's pretty much like a black Amazon. So we get to go on there and different vendors like to sell different products or whatever. So you're not getting hit across the head with certain fees like on Amazon or whatever. So it's a small fee to sell on his site, and that allows us to marginalize our capital.
And for black folks,
Yes,
black people that make products or have services and whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. That's dope. We're here to talk about the book #Ghetto in the Inner City Blues.
Yes,
so first of all, congratulations on the book.
Appreciate it.
To see a young black man write a book and publish it that's beyond impressive, because you don't get that a lot. I know a few, but this is dope. So first, tell us about yourself.
So I'm born and raised in Houston from 3rd Ward. Graduated from Jack Yates High School, class of 2010. From Prairie View A&M University, class of 2015, and soon to graduate with my master's in clinical mental health counseling from Sam Houston State University.
Nice.
I'm very big on mental health. Right now I'm working with the juvenile population, but pretty much when I get into my practices, I'll work with anyone.
Yeah,
So,
first of all, that's important, because these kids these days, bruh, going through all of the things, just the pressures of society, like with just social media by itself.
Exactly.
Not to mention whatever dysfunction is going on at the home with mama or daddy not being there. Just a lot. I mean, I'm sure you know how the story goes.
Yeah. So even with that, it's a structural view on things. People point out, oh, well, he's a bad kid, he's that, he's a nuisance. We're quick to label these children, but we're not thinking about, hey, what's going on at home.
Right.
Johnny can't concentrate at class thinking about survival at home. He has to do what he has to do to eat, to feed his family, to make sure everything, all his basic needs are being met in the household. So I cannot focus on education while having to worry about what's home, and I can speak on that clearly. I've been through that as well.
Mm-hmm. I love that you're a component of mental health in the black community, and I'm glad that we have finally, woke up and have embraced the idea of going to see a therapist to talk out our problems.
Yes.
Talk about your experience with mental health, and did you seek therapy for whatever you was going through?
Yes. Like I said, I advocate well for it because I had to seek it myself. Being an adult, growing up as a child with grown man problems, we have that a lot. So, going to transitioning to college from high school, it was new experiences. Mama not there, daddy not there, or whatever. It's like you out in this real world now. So having these problems from childhood, that's bothering you, and you wondering, am I worthy enough? Am I doing this right? Or if I make a mistake, can I capitalize? Can I bounce back? It was tough. So there were times that, I had suicide that crossed my mind as well. And when I seen how bad it got, and I was like, man, I can't keep going on like this. There's a purpose for me. I need to sort out these issues. So I did seek counseling, and being a mental health professional now, you have to deal with other people's problems and stuff, and it's easy to take that stuff home with you. So every now and then, I pick up the phone and I consult, with my supervisors, or I have my own therapist as well. Like, hey, I need to decompress.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to Access Houston, talking to Thaddeus Tolbert, the author of #Ghetto in the Inner City Blues. Please just talk about and touch on, especially with you being a young black man and going to therapy and seeking out. Can you please just talk about the benefits of just talk therapy and going to see someone who is a professional that can help you unpack, guide you through, and give you tools so you can be better and cope and deal.
Yeah. So I tell people all the time, it's easy for me to project towards you if you have an issue, to be like, hey, KG, this is what you should do. This will work. Or you just tell me about you. You decompress to me. It's easy for that to happen. The real work is turning inward, dealing with your own issues or whatever, going home and dealing with those things that you see on a daily basis.
Being able to look in the mirror naked and be
yeah.
Content or happy with who you see.
Exactly. And that's the question that I ask a lot of people. I even ask myself, when I see myself in the mirror, who are you? And a lot of people, when you ask that question, they say their roles. Like, I'm a DJ, I'm a student, I'm a teacher, I'm a father. No, those are the roles that you play in life. But actually looking in the mirror and saying, who are you?
As a human being.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Like that's power right there.
That's deep. So who are you? Let me ask that so people can kind of, because you broke that down so eloquently.
Exactly.
And those are roles. So who is Thaddeus?
Who am I? I can answer that within the roles or whatever, but I can go into depth. Like I can be an educator because I've been educated or whatever. Like I've been through experiences, so I am my struggles or whatever. Like when you look at me, when I see myself, I've seen the past, all the hurt, the pain that I've been through that I'm trying to help others get out of. We can go on and on with that one right there.
And I'm sure that writing this book, #Ghetto and the Inner City Blues, was cathartic for you.
Yes.
Talk about this. Is this autobiographical? Is it fiction?
Yes, it's basically autobiographical. So I'm giving my depiction of the struggles with mental health, violence, drugs, etc. growing up in Third Ward. So pretty much everyone that I let preview it from Third Ward and other inner cities across the map, they pretty much had the same thing to say, like, bro, like, this is my story that you told, like, you hit this one right on the nail, like,
so what was
I put myself in your shoes walking down this path, like.
So what was the general thing in the book that people were saying that to you that they related? What was it?
Basically, doing without, not having some of your basic needs being met, lights being turned off, taking cold baths. Some people, they had to worry about what they had to eat the next day or whatever within that day. Like they were able to go to school and have breakfast and lunch, but when they got home, it was like, dang, my next meal is not gonna be till I get back to school.
Right. Yeah. Yikes. So the process, how long did it take you to do that? Because I just see your name.
Yeah.
I don't see no co-author or none of that.
That's all me. Pretty much, I had help with the cover and everything. My photographer Chris Fountain, I know he's on live watching right now as well. He helped me with a lot of that. So the pictures that you see is his vision and my vision put together. But that's all me in there. So the process, it was almost 3 years. Life come at you in different directions. At that time, I just started grad school at Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I was listening to Marvin Gaye, hence you see the Inner City Blues on there, and like watching that video of like all the struggles that you can see in a household. And I was like, man, that just motivated me. Before you know it, I just started typing. So chapter 1 ended up turning to 3, then to 4, and then to 5. And then I took a hiatus from it to focus on school. I had got married the following year and all of that. So focusing on getting my family together in school, and writer's block hit me hard. So I was like, man,
let me
I'm
step
not
away.
even
Let me walk away for a little minute.
Yeah, let me decompress. Let me get a little self-care going on, because a lot of what I put in there is deep. So I'm like, whoa, like I've been to counseling, I've been to therapy, but I didn't process it the way I thought I did. Let me take a step back and think about this a little bit more.
Because it could be a scary thing to go into therapy and to really unpack and look. Like just hearing your reaction to when you thought that it was one way, but then when you went to therapy and they broke it down like it was
exactly.
another.
It's a whole nother outlook and vision of things that you probably never really seen before, or some thinking that you never thought of before doing that.
So with the book and your story, and you being an advocate for mental health in the Black community, what is your hope that, you know, young brothers like yourself, myself, would take away from #Ghetto in the Inner City Blues?
To use your voice. You know, we all have our purpose in life, and even though people probably will tell you that you won't mount to anything, that you won't be anything, that you can't do anything, you know yourself, you know yourself better than anyone else. Listen to your own voice. If you say that you can do this, you believe you can do this, do it. You know, if you need help, speak out, you know, because you never know. Like this brother or sister sitting across from you, they probably endured the same struggle. And if you never talk about it, don't ask the right questions, you'll be stuck in limbo on your own.
Man, well, bruh, first of all, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
I'm proud of you. I just love, you know, young Black men that's doing their thing and trying to make a difference in the community with us, to change our mindset, because we have been stuck in our ways as Black people in America, you know, for so long. And of course, you know, it was by design. But a lot of us need to take some personal responsibilities and, you know, and step out of that thing and retrain ourselves. It's like we got to totally retrain ourselves on everything that we were taught growing up that wasn't for the benefit of our mental and our physical, bro.
Exactly. Because, I mean, it's a point in time, like, you know, you were naive, you were ignorant to certain things, and that's not a bad thing. You know, no one is born with all of this knowledge in our head or whatever. We had to learn to do certain things. We had to learn how to walk, learn how to talk, learn how to use your fork and spoon, knives, etc. So that's the same thing with education in general past that. Like, if you learn something wrong growing up, and then you discover, hey, maybe that wasn't given to me the right way. Now it's your turn. It's your choice of if you're going to change that or not. Like, that's a big thing that I tell the kids that I see on a daily basis, accountability. It's easy for me to be like, oh, man, I'm like this because my daddy didn't do this. Or my mama told me I had to do this. No, what did you do? Because if you get in trouble and you step in front of that judge, then they're going to ask, hey, what your mama did, what your daddy didn't do.
Right. They're going to look at what you do. Yeah.
What did you do to be placed in front of me right now?
Man, Thaddeus Tolbert with a word, bro. Thank you so much. Where can people get the book? And shout out your social media as well.
Oh, yes. So you can get the book at Melanoid Exchange, and it's available on Amazon as well. But a lot of people, you know, they see me. It's the same old stuff like that you see in the hood out the trunks or whatever. So if you see me and you pull up on me, hey, I got the Cash App, cash or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Instagram at honorable.thad, at Facebook, Thaddeus Tolbert, and on Snapchat at DC Thado.
Thaddeus Tolbert, #Ghetto in the Inner City Blues, available now on Amazon and melanoidexchange.com. Changing lives, bro. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, appreciate you having me.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston. Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcome in on the program. First timer. Just simply hit me up on Instagram about an event that he had, which was last week. And it was a little too late, and I wasn't able to have him on last Sunday, but I told him, like, yo, you can come on. We can talk about this because I love what you're doing. He's the founder of the Trident Family. Ladies and gentlemen, Dieter Cantu, better known as just Cantu. Welcome.
Cantu, yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, listen. So tell us about yourself real quick. You going to school?
Oh, no,
like,
yeah.
What's the deal?
Tell
us your story, G.
I actually graduated, went to undergrad, a few places in Tennessee and San Antonio. So I came out here to work for the county. So about myself, I guess my story, I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
I lived in East St. Louis, all around Missouri, Illinois. I was incarcerated as a child. So growing up, my first time being arrested, ever having any interaction with law enforcement, I was arrested. I got a 10-year sentence. And so they gave me.
How old were you?
I was about 15, 16. And so I did 4 years in it's called TYC, which was like a high max juvenile.
Okay.
And they gave me 6 years on parole. And everybody else that was involved in the crime, they got to go home, or they walked because they were adults. And so, they got to fight their case from the outside. It was a robbery, and they got to fight their charge from the outside. But, I didn't rob the individual, didn't have the gun, didn't have any of that, didn't have anything. The state picked it up. I was a child, and I didn't have representation in court. And so me thinking I can go to adult facility, I just signed a plea bargain. I did 10 years. So, after that, after I did my 4 years, I was in there from like 16 to 20.
Okay.
Once I got out, I just hit the ground running and about, keeping people out of jail. That's my whole thing. So,
yeah, man. It's so, the way the system is set up. Every time I have a conversation like this, or I'm on a panel, or we're just somewhere out and we're talking about criminal justice reform or the criminal justice system, and people will say, oh, the criminal justice system is broken, and we need to fix it, and it's broken. And then I'm the one that comes in. I'm like, no, it's not broken.
Right.
It's not broken at all. Yeah. It is working exactly.
It's designed what it's
how
supposed. Exactly.
They designed it to work.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, or do we get the short end, the messed up end of the stick? Absolutely, but it's working.
Yeah, and that's why we're trying to do our best to we would love to abolish the criminal justice system, right? But we're trying to do as much as we can to put certain people in place, but certain infrastructures in place as well as a replacement, because we know ideally I don't want any juvenile jails, but at the same time, where could we put a youth that doesn't have a family or a home, that has committed a crime or had a minor infraction? So, we're really trying to build a lot more centers, more homes, even RTCs, foster homes. I advocate for dual status youth, meaning they've been through juvenile and the CPS system. And, just put a lot more things in place, because I just don't understand a child or anybody just sitting in the box or sitting in the cage. It just doesn't make sense.
And sitting there because they don't have the money to get out.
Don't have the money to get out. You know what I'm saying? And, with children or juveniles, you don't even get that option. You just get like reset. When I was in there, you just get reset every 2 weeks and see you're judged from the inside. You don't put 10% or any of that down. You just sit there.
Man,
so
what a shakedown on black and brown people with the criminal justice system. You're listening to Access Houston, talking to Dieter Cantu from the Trident Family. You all put on an event last week on criminal justice reform, and it was giving out some incredible information. How did it go? And what is some of the information that was shared at the event?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it went great. A lot of people came out. It was at TSU, and we partnered with the Earl Carl Institute. And so some of the information, we had record expungement opportunities.
Oh, nice.
We had, your CHL, firearm rights. What else? We had voter registration table. We had court procedures, so how to maneuver in the courtroom and how to get the legal aid, help, and representation that you need. What else did we talk about? We had the Larry Hoover Project, where a lot of people think it's mainly about the individual Larry Hoover, but it's more so about people who get disproportionate sentencing for their crimes. You know what I mean? And he was just one of those individuals as well, who received, well over 200-year sentence, when other people who might not look like us don't receive that type of punishment. So we had his son, Larry Hoover Jr., fly out to speak on that, and his attorney, Justin Moore. And we just had a lot of Q&A. We had people that were accessible to say, any other place for this record expungement or this non-disclosure, whatever, they would be charging. You know what I mean? So come take advantage. There's attorneys in the room, pick their brain, judges, whatever. Like, let's create community, because it takes a village, and let's move forward with an action plan, as a collective. So.
Indeed. Was I know you all talked about pleas.
Oh, yeah.
Plea deals.
Yeah, most definitely we did. I think Judge Deshaun Jones spoke on that.
Yeah. Judge Jones. What's up, Judge Jones?
Yeah, my man. So he spoke on that, and attorney Jason Yancey, I want to shout out him as well. So he does like a presentation is kind of correlates to like having bad credit, and how you could take dents in your credit is kind of like having so many minor infractions in the criminal justice system. And then when you need credit, you don't have it. And then when you need that clean record, you don't have it. So he kind of did a comparison with that, and he talked about plea bargains and things of that nature. And I wish I would have had something like that when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Right,
But,
had that knowledge.
But
So,
you know,
so
it's
what's
all
your
good.
situation? What they just gave you a public defender
Yeah.
who probably didn't even know your name.
Didn't even know my name. I don't even think he might have saw me one time. You know, so I was arrested October 23rd in 2005, and my birthday was on Christmas. So, you know, they told me, you know, if you want to fight it, if you want to whatever, you know, when you're this age, we can send you to TDCJ.
Ooh, I wish I could have been there.
Yeah,
Cantu, man. It
Yeah,
sounds like it was so lit.
so I
Man,
signed.
I got questions too because I'm wondering with a public defender's office, do they defend? I mean,
Right.
or do they just, you know, get assigned a case, get them to cop the plea,
Right.
take
right.
it to the judge, see, and then keep moving on? Like I don't know if a public defender, at least to my knowledge, I don't know. Maybe there are some out there that vigorously fight to try to get to keep their client out.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the public defender's office, like, if that's kind of that unknown rule,
Right,
you know,
right.
just try to get the plea.
Right, and I think that is kind of like the I don't want to say, I guess, preconceived, you know, notion, but I think that is the idea, you know, that a lot of people have. I think all public defenders are bad? Of course not. You know what I mean? I can speak about me being in San Antonio. There's a lot of things going on where they were slamming kids, man.
Oh, wow.
They were slamming them. I'm talking about 10 years was good for me because I was seeing kids with like 20, 25, 30, you know, and even though they don't send you to the penitentiary, they say your minimum length of stay is like 36 months, so you would do like 3 years off a 40-year sentence. Who's doing 37 years on parole?
Right.
You know what I mean? So they would give that like your chance, but the stipulations are so crazy. Like right when you get out, you know, you could be on your like 20th year of parole. If you mess up, they reset you. So then all that back time doesn't count, and they send you to TDCJ. Like they do children pretty crazy, man. So,
yeah, this is wild. You listen to Access Houston. Cantu from the Trident Family is in the building. What can the community do to start this process of criminal justice reform?
I mean, kind of really reimagine what you already have, like just be innovative, you know what I mean? And just kind of, my thing is like not being dependent, you know what I mean? Like I want to have something that's community based where we can just support our own, you know what I mean? So I mean, what are alternatives as far as criminal justice to keep a youth out or from going? You know we have, you know, 4 or 5 churches on every block in our community, you know what I mean? How many of these churches offer you know, emergency shelter, second chance, you know, housing or extra beds? How many of these churches do a food pantry? Because they're all 501c3 nonprofits.
That's what a church is.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, how are we using what we have? You know, grant writing or different things to create that support. I'm from Chicago, where we do those type of things. You know what I mean? And it's just we know Chicago ain't perfect, but you know, I just think like down here, you know, there's just a lot of opportunities we could take advantage of, and we can't keep saying we need a seat at the table. We want a seat at the table because, you know, why would you want to sit with your oppressor? You know what I mean? Why would that be the ideal solution, to say I want to sit right beside the person who doesn't want well for me anyways? You know, how do we create our own and start reimagining a new system? That's my thing.
I like that. I mean, and you're right. That, and along with voting.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and voting, and not just based off. You know, some people say skin is your ticket in. You know, not that either. You know, vote for somebody
that is aligned with what you believe
aligned,
in,
right? and doesn't mind being held accountable.
That's what our problem is. You know, and we need to stop that.
Yeah.
We need to do the work, do the homework, find out about said candidate,
right,
and see if they line up with what you see for yourself and your family. That was, you know, I don't know. I guess my grandmother, she had just instilled that in me, and then she worked for the government.
Right.
So voting in every election, presidential, midterms, local,
yeah, absolutely,
was the thing.
Yeah.
And we put this focus and emphasis on the presidential election when The real focus needs to be on the midterm elections and your local elections. That with these judges that are coming in, so much so, and I'm sure you're probably privy to this information. With the 19 black female judges that got in 17, 18, 18.
Democratic judges.
Yeah. So now that has happened, the good folks up in Austin and the state legislatures and the governor, they now want to take away the power of the people to vote these judges in, and now they want to appoint them. Kind of like how they do it on the federal level.
Right, and they say no more straight tickets.
Federal judge. Yeah, no more straight tickets. Right. And we want to be able to appoint judges now and take them off the ballot. And I'm just like, this has been working quite well for y'all for however many decades.
Absolutely.
And now you have this wave of black women who get in Harris County.
It's time to make a change.
And y'all like, nah, let's
That's how it goes, man. I mean, there's a lot of things that's just wicked to me, man. It's just
all off the benefit to make money off of black and brown bodies. Like that is just that we're still even having this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, even in
2020.
Yeah, it's capitalism built off competition. It's not really. When you look at it, it's really who has the best argument. The prosecutor or the defense, like who has the best argument. When you really think about it. And
can you imagine going to court with no trial?
Yeah, you're right.
Because that's what's happening now. I just had to turn that to the impeachment trial. Like they want to, they want to go through the trial, make their decision, and then after it's done, then submit witnesses and more evidence.
And he's doing whatever the heck he wants.
But yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Right.
Cantu, big ups to you, the Trident Family. What upcoming events do you have going on, and how can we, the community, help you with the things that you got going and what you're trying to do?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you go online, you can contact me. I do so right now I have like a social enterprise group, which is a community garden. So I have land in Crosby and a few other cities where we're growing fruits and vegetables and kind of doing like a farmer's market on the block.
Nice.
We're just giving out for free. We know by design our neighborhoods don't have Whole Foods and Central Market.
It's a lot of food deserts. I mean, Third Ward just got that new HEB. They hadn't had a grocery store in 30 years,
That's
bro.
Crazy.
That's
crazy. And
30
I'm right
years?
Yeah, that's wild. But then they give us like all the processed food, the Jack in the Box, and this and that.
McDonald's everywhere. Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, we got that you could tap in with. I have Cantu's Books to Incarcerated Youth, so I donate 250 books to every halfway home and 500 books to every high max facility. So we build libraries inside of jails, pen pal system and all that. And social enterprise, really just trying to advance the culture and change the narrative, man. So,
where can people follow you and social enterprise and everything? Give out your social.
Yeah, so my name on everything is my name, Dieter Cantu, DIETERCANTU, DieterCantu.com, and that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything is my name.
Man, open invite. Just reach out to me, whatever y'all got going on.
Yeah, I mean, we always got
time so
on.
we can.
Yeah, my man.
So we can promote it properly. Yeah. But I still wanted to have you on because this is important, and I love it when other young folks see the problem in our hood and in society, and literally legit want to make a genuine change. And so I salute you, man, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I'm humble. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.